Hi everyone, it's Lacey here and I'm back again for another video. I know I've been MIA again, but I've really been very busy with accompanying a wedding and also doing fall course preparations. So yeah, I've had a bunch of videos I've been wanting to do up and this vlog is one of them. So in today's video, I'm going to be touching upon dating after the Me Too movement, which is a difficult topic. And I wanted to preface that with something a little bit lighter, so I thought I'd do a mini haul and show you a few of my favorite fall things. So here we go. I'm going to start with the largest item. And it's actually this gorgeous Eiffel Tower wine rack. And as you can see, I've added some burgundy flower accents, or accent flowers, I guess you would call them, to the very top. And it actually holds 6 bottles of wine if you want to fill it. I think I'm just going to maybe add 4 bottles maximum, as I want them to just be more accessories or decoration like on the wine rack. So I have this one and it complements the burgundy accent flowers beautifully. It's actually an ice wine, a Cabernet Franc 2013. And I purchased this in Niagara-on-the-Lake. I was actually there this past winter for an ice wine tour. And yes, it was very well done and loved this wine in particular. It was actually selling out very fast and they had more of the white ice wine than they did the red. So it's kind of something that is, you know, a little bit sentimental since it, you know, was a nice trip and, you know, it tasted so good. So I'm kind of reluctant to drink it. I wouldn't drink it on my own, but definitely something for when I have guests over. And yeah, I think just adding a few rosé wines to the rack would be really pretty because I have a lot of mint and blue decor. And I find that the blush and burgundy really complements those other jewel tones. So that's that. And speaking of Niagara-on-the-Lake, I actually was there again this past summer. And I picked up these 2 items. They're both actually from Victoria's Teas and Coffees. And it's a really cute shop on Niagara-on-the-Lake. And this is the tea that I picked up. It's a loose leaf tea called Niagara Raspberry. It's a black tea. And it says, the essence of raspberry with tons of fruity flavor and a crisp bite. And there's 50 grams in here. And to kind of complement that, I picked up this beautiful mesh tea strainer. And yeah, you can see that it has a little tiny teacup on the end. And yes, I got it because of that. It's so cute. I just love the colors and the details on it. And yeah, so this is a mesh tea bowl and it makes it just easier, you know, when you're trying to remove the tea bag because the teacup is on the outside of your mug. So yeah, very happy for these 2 items. I also went recently to Whole Foods and I love it there. Like, it's a very good thing that I don't live too close to Whole Foods because I might very well spend my whole paycheck there, as people often joke. So I'm going to show you 3 things that I got that I'm really excited for. And the first is this really, really beautiful lunch bag. And it's like a gray tweed fabric. And then there's this leather-like trim up here. So it's really nice contrast trim. And it's got these gray handles. And then as you can see, it's a hot or cold bag, which is really unique. And then inside it's just got this gray insulation. So yeah, what I like about this is the size. It's very similar, if not identical in size to my Lug lunch bag. And also the fact that it keeps food hot or cold, right? It gives you the versatility of maybe bringing a soup on a cold fall's day. And then also keeping items very cold. So you could, you know, go to the grocery store and just buy, you know, maybe some fish or lunch meat or, you know, smaller things like that that you wanted to keep cool for a longer period. and, you know, go run some other errands and not have to worry, or even hot items, you know, say you want to pick up some, you know, mashed potatoes from the hot section because that's what Whole Foods is known for, or, you know, a local grocery store, you're bringing something from home you want to keep warm. This is really a cool idea, so I'm really excited for this. And it has a zipper as well, so I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it just zips right up. So yeah. That's that. And then two other items that I got from Whole Foods are this sunflower butter. So it's organic sunflower butter. The brand is Sun Butter. I chose this one because it has no added sugar, and I am a dessert person, so I do have a sweet tooth that I think has been inherited from my mother and her mother. A funny story is that my maternal grandmother would often come to Christmas and say that she was sorry she ate all of our chocolates on the way down, coming from out of town, and, you know, didn't have that sort of self-restraint when it came to anything with sugar. So yes, I try to limit myself to one small dessert a day, but I really try to limit sugar and other foods that I consume. So I love that this has only one ingredient, which is roasted organic sunflower seeds. And I'm so excited for this. I don't know what it will taste like, if it will be similar to peanut butter or not. Currently, I'm finishing up the peanut butter that I have in the fridge. So yeah, there's that. And the last item I'm going to show you from Whole Foods is this classic caramel, dark chocolate, premium hot chocolate. Yeah, just take a moment to process that. So I think it's the best of both worlds, given the caramel and dark chocolate. Now with this, the first ingredient is cane sugar. So it is a treat, and I'm not gonna have it all the time. It's a pretty big container. This will probably last maybe a year or so. So I'm really excited for this. It's good until June 2020. So got a lot of time on this, and it kind of reminds me of the maple hot chocolate by Camino. Again, I haven't tried it yet, but like I guess the flavor itself kind of reminds me of that. Like it's kind of a fallish flavor. This is by Castle Kitchen, and I'm really excited for this just on a cold fall day. So yeah. And that's all from Whole Foods. Now from a local flower shop, I actually got this adorable little succulent, and just take a moment to admire him. He's so cute. Like the pot is just beautiful. It's mint. Anyone that knows me knows I love mint. I also love plants, and if it was up to me, I would have plants everywhere. So yeah, this is so cute. I'm absolutely in love with it, and just another succulent to add to my collection, so I have to get more. Yeah, so, and then the last thing I got is from Urban Outfitters, and it is this adorable, adorable blanket skirt. So it's plaid, and as you can see, it's got the fringed edges, and it is called a blanket skirt because it kind of, you know, resembles the same material they use for scarves and for blankets. It's quite lightweight, and it has this little button here, right here. And yeah, it just kind of folds over, and I really love the length of this. So there's actually a girl in store that was shopping with her boyfriend, and she was carrying around the skirt and then put it back because she said it was too long for her. But she was saying it would be a perfect length on me, and I have to agree, this fit me very well, and I'm excited to wear it with maybe, you know, a lace top and a satin corset or something, you know, along those lines. Like I want to be creative with my pairing. Or even like a satin top with puff sleeves. I don't know, you know, what I'm going to find, but I'm very excited for the skirt. I feel like you can never have too many plaid skirts or too many plants. Those are just kind of some of my addictions. Yeah, I actually have many, many plaid skirts. I have a red kilt. I have a red buffalo check skirt. I have a black and brown, you know, plaid skirt. I have this one. I have a blue and black buffalo check skirt, and any others. I donated one recently, so that's one less. But yeah, I have probably at least a handful of plaid skirts. I absolutely love them and wear them a lot. Plaid shirts, on the other hand, I've kind of moved away from that. I donated the only, well, 2 of 3 that I had left in my closet, and just kind of felt like I didn't feel myself, I guess, in them anymore. So I donated those. I have one more that I came across the other day, and probably will be donating that at some point as well. I've done kind of a closet clear out because a lot of the stuff I had was from many years ago, and I'm still making use of some of it, but certain items I just totally didn't like or wear anymore. And yeah, I try to be kind of resourceful with my fashion and like recycle things from years ago and kind of, you know, reinvent my style each year. So yeah, that's that. But now to get into the serious stuff. So dating after the Me Too movement. Yeah, this is a difficult topic, and it actually came to mind because of a forum I came across on a Christian dating site, and also reflections on some of the conversations I've had on first meetings or dates over the past year. So actually, I recall a conversation I had with an individual who took me out to dinner on the first date, and it made me actually very uncomfortable because this man was speaking about how he didn't believe in the Me Too movement. He thought it was just a sham, and he also totally didn't believe women would allow men to ask them out on the street. Like, you know, you couldn't approach a woman in public anymore. Like, that was just something that was totally off limits. And I had to disagree with him because, well, I know there have been certain incidents with, you know, band members. I think it was with Hedley. So I just did a fact check, and yes, it was Hedley, specifically the singer Jacob Hoggard, who had allegations of sexual misconduct and rape against him. And yeah, this is probably not first date material, but this discussion topic did crop up during our dinner date. And I really didn't know too much about the allegations against Hoggard, so I started looking up the article. I know it's kind of a faux pas during a date, you know, but, you know, he mentioned it. I wanted to know more because he was saying that, you know, this example actually made him doubt the whole Me Too movement and really deny it because he thinks it's all about women, you know, making decisions and then kind of reneging on those decisions or regretting them and then trying to blame the man for, you know, what happened, and then eventually making allegations or harassment claims against him. So that was kind of how he mansplained the Me Too movement. And yeah, I just felt like that was very problematic because although I can see where he's coming from on the one hand, right? With these 2 young ladies who were involved intimately, you know, and had these arrangements to kind of meet up for sex. On the one hand, maybe it was staged. Maybe they did have ulterior motives. Maybe they knew that they were going to, you know, try to sue for harassment or that sort of thing, or non-consensual sex. I don't know. They could have been staged, and they could have, again, had ulterior motives. But on the other hand, I think that maybe fame and fortune was not their objective. Maybe, you know, they had some delusional vision of maybe getting with, you know, this pop star, and they thought better of it maybe, and, you know, wanted to do things differently, had a change of heart. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, even if you agree to an initial plan, that doesn't mean you need to follow through, right? You have the opportunity to change your mind even last minute if you decide ultimately you're not comfortable with it. So again, on the one hand, I can see how it might be staged. I can see that, you know, maybe you don't agree with the decisions, moral decisions that these women have made, right? To kind of, you know, give up their body to somebody famous just because they're famous. But at the same time, right, they have the right to change their mind even last minute and think better of it, I guess you could say. So yeah, I just very much disagreed with his kind of dismissal of the whole Me Too movement and denial of it even. And I felt like it was very problematic. He also said that, oh, definitely you can't approach women on the street anymore, like, you know, to ask them out. Like, that's totally out of the question. And I said, why not? Like, I don't understand. Like, you know, if you're being respectful, why would a single woman not appreciate that? You know, if you're respecting her space, you know, if you're asking in a considerate way, if you take no for an answer and, you know, are able to leave it at that, like, you know, what's the big deal? And he just told me, no, it's out of the question. You can't these days. And also along those lines, I have been reading a thread on a forum about, you know, kind of dating in the Me Too era. And the individual who initiated the thread actually wrote that some men are adopting the Mike Pence rule, where, you know, you're never in a room with another woman one-on-one unless it's a family member, and that you know, some men are going their own way, and that women now kind of need to take initiative to make the first move, because men are feeling unsafe, and they're, you know, living in this climate of fear, and women have demonized them through the Me Too movement. And I just think this kind of thinking is very problematic, because it's widening the gap between men and women and really feeding into that dating crisis that I talk about in my first video done with online dating. And, you know, I don't know how to put this differently, but I really think it kind of reminds me of very juvenile thinking of battle of the sexes, you know, boys versus girls, you know, field fights and cooties and all that sort of thing. Like, it's just kind of pitting them against one another. And yeah, that's like hugely problematic. So I was really disappointed with this kind of thinking, because I think that if a man were to approach a single woman and say something along the lines of, oh, hi, you caught my eye. I was wondering if you'd be interested in going for coffee sometime this week or next. No pressure if you can't, or if you're, you know, taken. Totally understand. Like, I mean, he doesn't have to say those words verbatim, but something along those lines. He's showing interest, being respectful if he's not touching her, you know, giving her her space, and or taking no for an answer. Like, what's the big deal, really? So yeah, I just couldn't relate to where these men were coming from. Other male perspectives I've heard on the Me Too movement are from a Christian Orthodox man who actually said that, you know, the Me Too movement didn't affect him because he's not dating, and also he's not having sex before marriage. But as we can see, it's not all about, you know, intimacy. Like, it's about even just asking someone out, right? Like, you can misconstrue that according to some men. And I think it's really unfortunate that some men feel like they can't approach women anymore, because I know that that act of chivalry is something that many women are actually looking for in men these days, and it is hard to find. And I don't think that you can say that every woman is going to default to, you know, harassment claims and allegations if things don't go her way or whatnot. I don't think that living in that climate of fear is healthy or conducive to relationships. And so I really do hope that men, or some men I should say, adapt a different mentality, because yeah, it is a harmful way of thinking about dating. So anyways, that's all I have to say on this topic. I'm interested to hear your perspectives as well. So if you're a woman, do you have any male coworkers or friends who have different perspectives on the Me Too movement? You know, what have they said about it? And also, how has dating changed since the Me Too movement for you? Have you noticed men being more reluctant to ask you out or ask other women you know out? Has it changed at all? And I guess that question also applies to men. I'm wondering, you know, for you guys out there, do you find that you have to change how you date? Do you date differently? Do you experience this kind of vulnerability or fear that I've been talking about throughout? How do you approach dating nowadays? So yeah, I'm wanting to hear some different perspectives to kind of broaden and deepen my own understanding of this. But please feel free to comment below, because I'd really like to start a discussion here and learn. I love learning, and I love understanding what people are thinking and that sort of thing. So by all means, let's have a dialogue and continue it throughout these vlogs. So until next time, farewell.